major manufacturers are starting to ship R454B units. You're beginning to see these units in the field. So let's go over some of the tools that you're going to need to work on R454B units. Of course, the first thing that you're going to have is a R454B gauge set to work on the units to make sure that you have the proper pressures to work on units that have 454B or R32 in them. Your digital gauges will have to be updated with the new refrigerant details to show the proper saturation tables. Check with the manufacturer of your particular brand of manifold gauge to get your upgrades to the electronic gauges. The next major expenditure that you're going to have to work on A2L refrigerants will be your vacuum pump. The main thing with these machines is that it has to be a no spark piece of equipment. So make sure that your vacuum pump meets the requirements for A2L refrigerants. Also note that the rapid evacuation kit is listed here. There's no difference with the R454B refrigerant as far as evacuation, and we have stated before that we do not recommend using the manifold gauge hoses as they are small and long, and so a rapid evac kit with larger and shorter hoses and core removal tools and certain fittings will reduce your evacuation time drastically. So make sure you have such a kit to work on 454B units. Because A2L refrigerants have a mildly flammable characteristic, a non-sparking recovery machine is required. Make sure that the recovery machine that you have is compatible and is designed to use with A2L refrigerants. You will also need to have recovery tanks that are designed for R454B or A2L refrigerants. The main difference will be the red stripe on the recovery tank that will identify it as an A2L refrigerant. Also note that these tanks will have reversed or left-handed threads, so you must have an adapter to access these recovery tanks. Another thing that you'll have to make sure of is that your apps that you have on your phone for wireless devices that you use to check charges and temperatures on units are compatible with R454B refrigerant. And as we've already stated, your digital manifold gauge sets will have to be updated to the new refrigerant. Because R454B and R32 have a mildly flammable characteristic, a fire extinguisher is highly recommended for all service personnel. So make sure that you have a fire extinguisher that is designed for these mildly flammable refrigerants and carry it with you at all time when you are working on R454B units. Because R454B and R32 have a mildly flammable characteristic, sniffer or electronic style leak detectors should be fully sealed to prevent electrical spark exposure, such as with the units below. Bubble leak detectors have no spark risk and thus are safe to use around any refrigerant. Check with the manufacturer of your leak detector to make sure that it is compatible with A2L refrigerants. So with filter dryers, all existing filter dryers will work with the R454B refrigerants, and as the refrigerant lines are evacuated prior to replacing, there is no flammability risk. However, Replacement Components Department now offers press-fit filter dryers that can be attached with a coupling with no brazing required. New regulatory requirements include provisions to avoid confusion between R410A and the new refrigerants, including use of left-handed threads for the new refrigerants instead of right-handed threads with older refrigerants. As a result, left-handed thread adapters are required when connecting hoses to R454B or R32 refrigerants. In most of our R454B classes, the question has arisen regarding disconnects on outdoor units. Carrier confirmed this week that disconnects can be mounted on the HVAC unit if necessary with the A2L refrigerants. Most disconnects are usually mounted on the wall of the building, but if the case comes up where the disconnect needs to be mounted on the unit itself, Carrier has confirmed that this is acceptable.
Go to arefco.com for more videos. Like, subscribe, and check back every week for new videos.